Did you know that the Garden of Eden is not just a fairy tale? The proof lies in the writings of Moses. When describing the rivers of Eden, he didn't use the past tense, but rather the present tense. This proves that the readers of Moses' time were very familiar with these geographical locations. How? We will analyze that in detail just a bit later. Hello, friends, and welcome to the Decoding Bible Truth channel. Today, we will analyze Genesis chapter 2, verses 8 to 14, to decode the true geographical location of the Garden of Eden and the mysteries of its rivers. Let's uncover this ancient mystery today. Our first question is, what was the name of the region where the garden was located, and in which part of that region was it planted? Genesis chapter 2, verse 8 says, "Now the Lord God had planted a garden in the east, in Eden, and there he put the man he had formed." The region where the garden was located was called Eden. Eden is a Hebrew word meaning pleasure or delight. However, recent research in the Assyrian region suggests that the word likely comes from an Akkadian word meaning a plain or a flat land. But this was no fertile valley. Rather, it was an elevated, treeless, dry wilderness, or a mountainous desert, known as a steppe or mountain desert. God planted the garden in a specific location on the eastern side of this vast, dry highland.
Now, if we look at Genesis chapter 2, verse 9, a fascinating point emerges. Which words in this verse prove God's consideration for beauty and utility? Genesis chapter 2, verse 9 clearly states, "The Lord God made all kinds of trees grow out of the ground, trees that were pleasing to the eye and good for food." This means the trees were pleasing to the eye for beauty and good for food for utility. Furthermore, this verse also says, "In the middle of the garden were the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil." Meaning, two specific trees are mentioned in this garden, the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. There is a very important point to consider here. According to biblical hints, the region of Eden itself could not have been a very fertile or productive place. If the entire area was already fertile, why would God need to plant a separate garden? More importantly, when Adam and Eve were cast out of the garden due to their sin, if the surrounding land was just as fertile as the garden, there would have been no real punishment or hardship in their exile. Therefore, God's garden was literally a piece of paradise in the middle of a dry desert. Now, let's talk about those four thrilling rivers. Genesis chapter 2, verse 10 says, "A river watering the garden flowed from Eden. From there, it was separated into 4 headwaters." The greatest proof of this description's authenticity is found in the very next verses. Genesis chapter 2, verses 11 to 14. When the author, Moses, was describing these rivers and regions, he used the present tense. For example, in verses 11 and 12, it says, "The name of the first is the Pishon. It winds through the entire land of Havilah, where there is gold, and the gold of that land is good." Notice, it doesn't say that gold was found there, or that the river used to wind through it. Instead, in the present tense, it says there is gold, and it winds through the land. These biblical verses clearly prove that the readers of Moses' time were very well acquainted with these geographical locations and their mineral resources. Because it was the source of these massive rivers, Eden was undoubtedly an elevated mountainous region, or plateau. To the people of the East, this description brings to mind the region of Armenia, where the famous Euphrates and Tigris, or Hiddekel, rivers originate. In that same region, 2 other rivers named the Kur and Araxes originate and flow into the Caspian Sea.
However, whether these 2 rivers are definitively the Pishon and Gihon of the Bible is still yet to be finally determined. Do you know what the most amazing part is? Science today supports this biblical teaching. Modern science acknowledges that the entire human race originated from a specific common center. And that center is this highland or plateau region of Central Asia. The Bible does not just give spiritual truth. Hidden within it is perfect history and geography. I hope today's deep dive into the Garden of Eden has enriched your perspective on understanding the Bible. If you enjoyed this decoding, please like the video. What are your thoughts on this geographical description of the Garden of Eden? Let us know in the comments. To discover more deep truths of the Bible, don't forget to subscribe to the Decoding Bible Truth channel and press the bell icon. May God bless you.